Hey YouTube, this is Jason from Team Nightlight coming back at you with another deck profile. And the deck today we're going to be talking about is going to be OTT, Post Clan Selection Volume 2. So let's get started. So the first one we're going to talk about is starter. Nothing new about it. It's just right over, draw a card, get a quick sentinel if you go second. So the deck we're going to be talking about is pretty much a hybrid deck, if you want to call it that way. So we're gonna start with triggers and then at the beginning and from there. So this deck, you really you don't really need draws in this OTT deck because you're drawing enough. And I'm playing like 12 crits, crit sentinels in this deck. And I know I told a lot of guys that PGs are the ways to go, but this deck you really don't want to do that because you will deck yourself out. And OTT, if everybody knows, OTT always decks itself out if your opponent could grind you out. And you gotta play 4 heal, which is standard. Alright. So for grade ones, the first one we're gonna be talking about is this card. White hair, it's pretty much a bunny. What it does is at the end of your Vanguard grade 3 attack or grade 3 boosted by this card attacked, you can put a card from your hand to soul and draw a card. So another draw outlet in the deck. Why not? We're gonna be talking about now we're going to this grade ones. So this is from the new Clan Selection Volume 2. So pretty much it has 2 different effects. The first one is a Vanguard Rearguard ability. So when it's placed, you can look on top of your deck. If it's a battle sister, you can add it to your hand. And the second ability is a once per turn ability. Whenever you looked on top of your deck or reveal a card, you get to get plus 5,000. So pretty much it's a 13k Beatstick or attacker. So which is really good. Its own Rearguard effect. Alright, so the next one we're going to talk about, this is a promo that got reprinted out. So what it does, it pretty much gives you soul. When you play it, you can put it into soul. You get to look up top 2 cards of your deck. And you put one card from the top 2 to the bottom and put the other card on top. So the first trigger that's revealed from this card gets plus 20k. So another way to get power. So it gives whatever trigger that the first trigger you hit plus 20k, plus 10k on top of it. So which is really good. And then also another way to build up soul in this deck too. So I'm only playing 1 grade 3 searcher. This deck you really don't need it because for what I'm gonna show you why. So it's pretty much generic. It has 2 effects. During your turn, if you reveal the card from the top of your deck or look on top of your deck, you get plus 5,000. So on Vanguard Rearguard, so it's pretty much a 13k attacker or booster. And the other ability, when it's placed from hand, you can look up top 5 cards of your deck and reveal a grade 3 from them. And then if you do, shuffle your deck and discard a card from your hand. Alright, so the next grade, the hybrid part of this deck I'm going to be talking about is we're playing this chain ride in this deck, which is Goddess of Crest Moon, Tsukuyomi. So for those who don't know what it does, it's pretty much a chain ride that gives you card into hand. So at the beginning, after you draw, at the beginning of your turn, you draw, and then you get to look up top 5 of your cards of your deck. You can reveal a card from your hand, and then after you reveal it, you add it to your hand, and whatever else goes in the bottom in the order. And then you have to discard a card from hand. But if you discard a copy of the next ride phase of her, you get to spear ride it. So pretty much you don't lose anything. So why not? Now we're going to grade 2s. And keeping with the theme of chain rides, we're going to be talking about Goddess of Half Moon, Tsukuyomi. So this one is pretty much the after you get their skill, you want to ride into her because it's another way to plus your hand. So if you have already in hand, it's really good because now you can get the other pieces that you need from your deck into your hand, and then you can discard this for the cost and then superior ride it. So pretty much you get the ride going and at least adding 1 card every single turn to your hand if you get the chain ride going. And their second ability is Vanguard Rearguard. If you have the grade 1 in your soul, she gets plus 3k. And that's on Vanguard Rearguard. She's a 12k swinger. So pretty much generic. Pretty much, it's still a really good card. Alright, so we're going to talk about, now we're going to grade 2, the other grade 2. And this is from the Clan Selection Volume 2. So this card is really good. Let me just be honest. This is pretty much Waterfall or any Sentinel Restrict card on as a grade. That used to be a grade 3 as a grade 2. So this card, this Battle Sister card has two different effects. The first effect, it lets you, when it's placed from your hand, you get to look up top 3 cards of your deck. You get to rearrange them in order. Oh yeah, you get to look up top of your deck, and then you get to call a battle, rearrange it in order. And if you can call up to a Battle Sister, yeah, you can look up top 3 and then of your deck, and then call up to one Battle Sister from among them, and try and put the rest on top of your deck in the order. So pretty much it lets you rearrange. If you don't find any Battle Sister on top, you get to rearrange those cards back, which is really good. The next effect that it has, and this is the part where it gets gives you the restriction when it attacks. When it attacks, if the other part is she gains plus 5k if you reveal the card from top of your deck, which is mostly what this deck does. And then when it attacks, you can Soul Blast a grade 3 from your hand, from your soul, and then this card gains the ability where your opponent can't guard with Sentinels. So pretty much it's the one way where this deck can push and not have to worry about your opponent's Sentinel guards or PG that they have in hand, because with her effect, you can put all the whatever triggers or criticals you have on her to make her as big as possible, so your opponent really can't guard it, or use half of their hand just to guard it. So you really definitely need to do that. This deck really needed it. And the other grade 2 I'm playing in the deck. This grade 2 is really good because it's another Beatstick. So at any time when you reveal the card from your deck by an effect, she gains plus 10k, and that's once per turn. If you have one per turn, it's pretty much a 19k attacker. On Protect 2 is a 24k. It's really generic. It's just a way to gain a little bit more power in this deck so that you'll be able to hit your opponent so they can guard enough. So the next one we're going to talk about, and this is pretty much the end part of the Tsukuyomi chain. This is the grade 3 that after you go from the grade 2, you get it, you discard it, and right into the grade 3. So it has two effects. The first effect is pretty much you can counterblast one, discard a card from your hand. You get to draw one for each Tsukuyomi card in the soul. So potentially you can only draw up to 3. If you draw up to 3, you get to look up top 5 cards of your deck. You get to put 2 cards on the top and then the other ones to the bottom. So pretty much you're organizing your deck, giving you that oracle feel. And then if one of the attacks, if you reveal up to 2 triggers, the whole front row gets plus 10k. So it's another way to buff up your rear guards so that let's just say it's really good when you're buffing her up so that you can hit more triggers. So you can make your opponent less likely to guard. So it's really good. The next one is the Battle Sister grade 3 that we got in Clan Selection Volume 2. So also this one has 2 effects. Also the first ability is on Vanguard, you continuous. It gives plus 5k to all Battle Sisters on board. So which is good. Another power that OTT really needed, because if you remember, OTT really didn't get that much of a power. They gave us Susanoo, which got power for itself, but the rear guards really didn't get that much of a power. They pretty much were standard the same. They weren't as, they didn't get enough power what they needed so that they can be able to hit. They only relied on Vanguard. Well, this one literally fixed that problem a little bit. They don't give it that much power like other decks can. The 5k still helps by giving your rear guards a little bit more power to use. And the next ability it has is a Vanguard rear guard ability. So the card has 3 effects. The first one is giving 5k to everything on board with Battle Sister in their name. Second one is Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. You get to draw a card, and you draw 1 if it's on rear guard. And if it's on Vanguard, you get to draw 2 cards instead. So which is good. Plus 2 cards in hand every time you ride into it, which is not bad. The next ability you can this is Vanguard's an axe skill. You can discard an axe skill. You can discard a card from hand. You get to look on top of your deck for 1 card for each different battle system with different names, and you get to rearrange them any way you want. You can put it on top or bottom of your deck. So pretty much another way to rearrange so you get your triggers on top of your deck, so that you're able to hit your opponent and start pressuring them a little bit. So my thoughts of the deck. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This deck is not a multiple attacking deck. You still have the potential of decking out yourself. If you're playing against a protect deck, you pretty much can spend like hours and hours still playing. and still not doing anything. Unlike if you notice, Clan Volume 2 is pretty much all about restanding. It's the only deck that didn't get really multiple attacks like all the other ones did. But it's still a fun deck to play. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. If you like this this deck, please leave a like, comment down below. What do you think I should improve or change in the deck? I don't think there's really much you can really change in this deck. You can also, if you want, you can always play the Deer. I know a lot of people don't play him anymore if you want extra power, but with the Soul Blasting in this deck, you potentially don't have much grade 3s in Soul to be able to do it every single time. But yes, that's the Battle Sister Tsukuyomi deck. So this is Jason from Team 9 Red signing out.